Okay, so we all know that Warhammer is the biggest, baddest game on the block. As far as tabletop war games goes, it is the king. But it's also the hardest game to get people into, at least to play. People get into it for 100 different reasons, but to actually play, it is a hard pill to swallow. And a year ago, I would have said the same thing about Warmachine. And then I finished painting my Warmachine army. Told you I'd get it done. And while I was deciding to paint it, I thought, if I'm going to paint this whole thing, I might as well play it and try it out and see how it goes. And I learned the truth. Warmachine is actually really easy to get people into for a lot of reasons. So let's talk about them. Okay, and before everyone starts telling me about how Warhammer is the best game, it's the easiest game to play, it's the most fun, and blah, 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 everything that I hear every single time I make a video about this, tell me this. Is Warhammer the same game that you started playing whenever you started playing? And I know it's changed, but is it as fun as when you started to play compared to now? If it is, good for you. Tell me about it, why in the comments, because I would love to hear it, because I don't hear it very often. So please let me know down below. And if it's not as fun as it once was, once upon a time, welcome to the club. And let me tell you why Warmachine is a better game, at least for new people coming to the hobby. So is there really actually anything that makes Warmachine better than Warhammer? Yeah, I think so. And I know people are going to always bring up the models and, oh, the plastic kits from GW are the best in the world. And sure, maybe they are. The problem is that you got to put everything together. Anything that's bigger than this is made up of 100 pieces. You got to glue it all together. And maybe you love that part of it, and maybe that's great, okay? But in all reality, a model's a model, okay? You want to paint it. The process of how you put it together may be important for most people, but I think it's a kind of a niche group. Legos are better. Okay, so I'm not even going to talk about the models. What I'm going to talk about is 3 key things that when you're trying to get somebody into the hobby, I think are kind of important. And the first one is just ease of access, getting into play the game. Warmachine armies, as you can see from this picture, don't have to be enormous. They don't have to be 100 units. They don't have to be 30 units. They can be smaller, okay? But you're generally in that area of between, 15 to 30 models, give or take. And every army is different. Like, that's one of the things that's so cool about this game too, right? Is that some armies can be really big and some can be really, really small and pack the same punch. And yeah, it's... Okay, sorry. Tangent. The smaller armies mean that you can paint your miniatures and get them on the table sooner. Okay? Because let's be honest, if you're getting into this hobby, there's some aspect of that is important to you, whether it's just playing and you want your stuff to look good when you play, or you love to paint and so you want to make them look good. And with that being said, every model's different. Every single model is different. If you have a squad of 3 or, whatever you're putting into the game, they are different. Not just different poses. They are completely different models. Male, female, orc, troll, whatever, whatever it is, right? Human, elf. Like, they are different. And they all have names. Like, I know that's a weird concept to think of, but they all have names and you can learn them. And when, one of your characters gets shot, oh no, Steve is gone, like, each character is important. And I know you might think, well, that doesn't matter. Watch the latest video on Warhammer and what they're doing with the Blood Angel army, and they're making them unique. They're doing the same thing that Warmachine and Infinity and other games have been doing for a long time, which I don't know if it works when you have 100 units. It just seems like too much to me. But anyway, Smaller armies means easier to paint, shorter time frame to get it tabletop ready, and just you can make them different, you can make them unique, you can make them yours, and it doesn't take you a year and a half to do it. Unless you're me. Yes, it took me about a year to paint my army, but I'm painting other things too. Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. But honestly, for a new person getting into the game, a huge army can be intimidating. And one of the other things is you don't have to start with a 100-point army. They sell box sets with 30-point armies that can be used in any army of that faction. They're called cadres. If you look at any of the 2-player starter boxes, that's what they are. They are 2 separate 30-point armies that are ready to go out of the box. It's not much easier than that. Okay, number 2 on my list. You got to talk about it because it's an investment, right? Paying for an army costs money. So, how do you get somebody in? You give them an army. You give it to them. You say, hey, I got an army for you. It'll cost you $5. How do you do that? Simple. You print one. You 3D print one. You get a friend who has a 3D printer to print you one. You can do it. You can join the tribe on My Mini Factory for Warmachine. And it literally comes with files for 2 of those cadres that I was speaking of. Okay? The Nectar Factorum and the pig guys, I think. Okay? It's $10 to sign up for the tribes and get that welcome gift. And depending on the month that you do it, you might even be able to get a 3rd cadre for whatever unit they have if they're doing that. Okay? But you can get more models. And I know you think that that's hard. Okay? But it's not terribly hard. And if you pay for 1 file, you can print as many armies as you want. If you want to get somebody into this game, there's no better way to get someone into a game than saying, hey, here's this army that you can have. Yeah, it's 7 units. Paint them up. Have fun with it. I'll show you how to play later. But here you go. You know? Or you can buy a 2-player starter pack. They're like $100 from Steamforged Games. There's a few of them now, okay? That's $50 an army to start this game. $50 to get into a game that they can play 1,000 times. And that's it. That's the only cost. Okay? So, do it. It's easy. And the beauty is the 3D printable armies, how does it all work? Well, it's simple. They are older armies. They are armies that are not in the current meta, but have updated rules and everything else. You can still use the app to play with these armies and pull them in. And if you're just trying to get somebody into the game, they are some of the coolest factions that Warmachine has ever known. And if you're just trying to fill an army that you had years in the past, you can do that too. It's just a beautiful thing that makes this game more simple to start. And like I said, it's dollars if you 3D print it yourself. It's hard to go wrong with something like that. Okay, and the last thing I want to talk about. Okay, and the last thing that I wanted to bring up on just how easy it is to get into this game is the app itself. And maybe you hate apps. Maybe you don't like using the app when you play the game and you are a sucker for cards. And you want it printed out in front of you so you can look at it and you can mark off your hit points and you can just have it all in front of you. Guess what? The app lets you do that. You build an army, you go into the app, you hit print. It'll print out pages with the stats, with everything that you need to know. And if you're a new player, guess what? All of the abilities and all of that stuff is right there. Just print it out on the page and it tells you what everything is. Okay? So what do you need the app for? Well, the rules. Okay? Sure, you can print those too if you want. Okay? But the app has the rules and it has a really easy system that you can use for looking things up if you don't understand. When you're playing the game, it keeps track of everything. And if you're looking at your Warcaster or your unit and you don't know what something is, guess what? There are little question marks that you can hit on just about everything and it will take you in the rule book right to where it is and just makes the game 100 times easier to get into. I like having stuff in front of me.
I'm a simple man.
But I like having an army in an app that I can change things around, move things around, make sure I have the right points, make sure I can try this, that, and the other. And then all I got to do is print it. Okay, you got to print it on a computer and download it on a computer, but it's really not that hard, and it's free. Free. Okay, so you want to get somebody into playing Warhammer? Start with Warmachine. See if they like it. Okay, if you're out $5 to $50. Okay, and chances are they'll love it because it's really fun. It's a great game to play. You don't have to be that old to understand it. I mean, I'm playing with my 11-year-old and he loves it. So give it a shot. Okay. And then, like I said, if you want to branch onto a 100-point army in Warmachine and play a little bit longer games and you like that, or you want to try something else, you can move on to a different game if you want to. You don't have to play Warmachine for the rest of your life, but chances are you're going to because it's fun. Okay. But you can always move on to Warhammer. You know, that $500 to $1,000 investment, if you're ready for it. This is a great way to find out for sure. So, is Warmachine better than Warhammer to get into? Yeah, I think so. And if you think I'm wrong, tell me why. I have never had somebody tell me why Warhammer is so fun to get into as a beginner. The models are great. The lore is incredible. There are so many things about Warhammer that are amazing. And as a painter, I want to get into it and I want to paint the models. As a player, it is just too far out of my reach. These games are intimidating. Like, any way you look at it, they are. But if you can set somebody down, hand them the paper, hand them the models, and say, hey, let's play a game real fast. I'll show you how. It'll take us a half hour to kind of get the gist of it. That's a win for the tabletop gaming community. So, anyway, I painted an army. Wanted to show it off, wanted to talk about it, wanted to talk about why I don't have a Warhammer army painted yet, even though I have a Warhammer army. I'll get there one day. And if you like that and you enjoyed this at all, please like, subscribe, stick around. I post videos about everything. Painting, printing, tabletop gaming, the games, the rules, just the gaming hobby as a whole. And I love it. And if that interests you at all, stick around. And as always, don't spend so much time building your world that you forget to spend some time in it. These games can be fun. Well, most of them. Until next time.